Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the size, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recaps, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the OnChain Hour, and it's going to be a good one, guys, because Bitcoin's sitting at 104,660 right now. We had a spike up to 106 this morning and a push down to 103. It's very sideways, very choppy. Yagobi's been calling for this all week, and it is happening. Just chop. But when the big move, when the explosion, and what can we expect when it is time to follow the M2 money supply again? I mean, it's definitely looking like a little bit of a dip, but there's a rip coming, guys, a monster rip. But when you're thinking about monster with Bitcoin, what normally comes with that is usually coins follow, right? So today we're gonna show you guys the coin that we actually think is the next Dogecoin, the coin that actually could pass Dogecoin in market cap over the next 4 or 5, maybe even 10 years. It might take 10 years, but who knows, right? But we really feel like we found the next Dogecoin, and we're gonna break that down for you guys. And we got just not a lot of news today, honestly. Honestly, there's just not much going on. But we're going to get into it. We're going to have a great show, cover a lot of different markets. If there's anything you guys want us to cover, throw it in the comments, guys. It'll really help us today with this slow news day. And if you guys wouldn't mind, smash that like for us. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share it with some friends. Let's share the OnChain Revolution with everybody. But without further ado, bring my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling today, dude? How's this chop that you've been calling for? How are you feeling living out what you thought was going to happen?
I expected sideways chop with maybe a little bit of uptrend, a little bit of downtrend. I was not necessarily in the camp of explosion, new all-time high this week, but I think it's okay for us to go through this right now. We're in this kind of lull period, a little bit of purgatory while we kind of catch up with the money supply. I'm still using that indicator because it hasn't broke down yet. It hasn't fully kind of I guess not been reliable. And I say that because I remember back in November of 2024, whenever we had this big jolt with Bitcoin. And then, you know, it was also following the money supply. But there was this period of maybe 1.5, 2 weeks of like, it looked like our run had completed. And then it was sideways with a little bit of downtrend, some pullback sideways, a little bit of downtrend. And then we kind of continued on after that week and a half to start December, right? And so I think we go through something similar to that. I'm still in that camp that we get to between 120 and 130. And then I think we kind of see that pullback that we're used to from last summer, which is not great, before Q4 having that more explosive environment possibly to end the year.
Yeah, so you're basically calling for what the chart is that exactly calling for, right?
Yeah.
You're calling for up here and then back down to here, back down to like 120. You might even drop, you said, like 115, 120, but still to kind of be in this thing. Because you got to remember, you know, we had stuff like this where the money supply would drop, but Bitcoin would kind of go sideways. We could actually see the opposite of what we saw here. Instead of, you know, following it completely, actually maybe do something on the lines of just a grind up to 123. But I don't know. I feel like if we pass the all-time high, we're just going to pop, right? I feel like, you know, 112, 113, boom, 120. I feel like it's that easy because people get excited. And when people get excited, they start buying, especially the big guys who get FOMO, especially when you're seeing maybe it might not ever go under 100K ever again.
I think you pretty much nailed it on the head there. You know, if we do pass an all-time high, I think that energy will kind of pop us up, right? So the grind situation, yeah, I don't really see that play out.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you know, the energy will be there if we're at 115. People are gonna be bullish,
True.
right?
Yeah.
And so, but we'll see, right? Obviously, we can't tell. We're not fortune tellers to be able to tell tomorrow. But the one thing that I think, if you zoom out and you see how, you know, accurate the M2 supply chart has been, I think you got to say, okay, if we pull back here, even if we touch 102 again,
Yeah.
I think we're okay. Where I think this indicator or this tool that we've used would possibly break down is if we get to 95 and we start heading towards 90 or something like that. Then we're like, okay, this is now have been pretty much invalidated, in my opinion. Unless it does a complete inverse of what this is, then we could see something like that. But that would just be so, it would be a little weird, I think. And how long would that last, right?
Yeah.
That would be brutal. That would be bloody. And it would be kind of like the worst case scenario to kind of get back on track with the M2 money supply. Because then you're like kind of questioning it. Even though sometimes you have seen inverses, right? So you're like, okay, it still doesn't invalidate it, but it still feels not right, you know? So we'll see.
Yeah. No, 100%, 100%. And or Doucher, shout out Runes Dex. He says, I trade exclusively on your advice, Yagobi. So.
Well, that's not good. You probably have lost a lot of money then. No,
Chief Axel says, I swapped all my Bitcoin for Dog. Let's go. 100%. But let's kind of get into today's main topic. And the main topic of today's show is what will be this cycle's Dogecoin top contenders. So I started looking at some of the memes, and let's just kind of go over them. So you have obviously Dogecoin, right? Sitting at a what is it?
28 million
market cap, 28 billion.
Or billion,
right? And then you have Shiba at 7, Pepe at 4, Trump at 2, Bonk at 1.2, SPX at 1, FARTCOIN right there at 900K, 949, Dog with Hat 800, right? But then you go down and you see our boy at 117, our boy Dog at 451 million. And if you are on X, you see hashtag Dog nonstop. It's everywhere. It's a cheat code. If you do a tweet and you don't put hashtag Dog, you're getting like 4 to 10 likes. If you put hashtag Dog, you're getting like 100 or 30, right? Depending on if Leonidas retweets you or not.
Yeah, that's a big difference, right? But like, I mean, you should at least get a couple more, I think. And but yeah, look, you know, some of those that you mentioned and read off were kind of from last cycle as well. So I don't really include them into this new class. Pepe's kind of on the edge, right? Came out in the bear market. But I'm looking more at the fart coins, the Dog, and Dog with Hat, and Mog, right? So those are kind of the top 4 that I'm looking at. I don't really consider Trump, even though it falls into the meme coin, it's not the same, you know, approach, the kind of lightheartedness and stuff like that, funny type of thing, right? And so, yeah, look, I'm biased probably by saying this, but I can't deny the social analytics, and the social analytics are telling me that Dog is going to be the winner here. I know Dog's about 400 million behind FARTCOIN, and FARTCOIN has shown crazy strength. So this is going to probably, sound a little bit crazy, but I think it passes FARTCOIN. If the plan rolls out the way I think it will, meaning that Kraken co-markets the heck out of it. You might have a Robinhood that ends up listing it. You might have, some of these other centralized exchanges listing it, and you have all of crypto Twitter kind of going crazy for it at this point, where that was the Doge movement, right? You don't see that with FARTCOIN. FARTCOIN is funny. There is a lot of kind of mentions about it, but Dog is just the winner in my opinion because of the social aspect of it. But I know you might have a different take on it. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Yeah. So to give FARTCOIN credit, it's an actual meme coin. It's funny. It's hilarious. I mean, Stephen Colbert was talking about it on his show, right? So it's like it's one of those things where it's actually really, really funny. But it doesn't have the community that you need to kind of push one of these things, right? I don't see hashtag fart or hashtag anything with FARTCOIN, right? I've never seen it. And I am someone who kind of fades Solana because of the pump fund movement and the Jeets over there. But at the same time, like I do respect that it's an actual funny meme coin. Dog doesn't feel like a meme coin to me. It feels more like a community-based coin. It feels more like a cult type of genre, because it has everything you need to be successful, but it's not funny. Like when you look at Dog Go to the Moon, I don't giggle when I hear Dog Go to the Moon, right? Like I'm like, oh, that's cool, like that's awesome, but like you don't need to. I giggle. I hear FARTCOIN, I giggle. I get a little giggity, you know what I mean? So but Dog just seems different, and the fact that it's on Bitcoin, right? I think that's the biggest factor. Bitcoin is a $2 trillion asset. Let's just say 1 trillion will never get into layer one assets, which is completely fine, but there's still another $1 trillion. And Dogs being 400 million of that, you have 95% more to go. You know what I mean? In my opinion, and you'll need all that to go into Dog. You can just get 4 or 5% of that, and then Dog's it's up there with cheap.
This is an opportunity I think Kraken sees, though. Right. So this is why I say this. You and I have discussed this several times. Our regular audience that watches us on a day-to-day has heard this multiple times. The Bitcoin fungible tokens or Bitcoin meme coins, however you want to phrase them, and it's a marketing opportunity. And we've talked about this, right? Yeah. Kraken is rolling the dice here, kind of like how Magic Eden rolled the dice on ordinals, won big time there, propelled them to a top, art platform marketplace, digital art. And so I think Kraken's kind of saying, hey, let's kind of follow that playbook a little bit here, and let's take advantage of this opportunity if no other big ones are. And I think they saw that while the other ones were slow to it. And so Kraken has an opportunity to really drive on this. Hey, you missed Bitcoin? Well, check out Bitcoin meme coins. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you thought SHIB was big. What do you think the biggest meme coin on the most valuable cryptocurrency ever to exist is going to be like, right? So the marketing has to roll into this kind of opportunity. But if that happens correctly, Dog could definitely pass like these other ones that are kind of legacy, but they're still growing, right, over time, just because they were early. The Sheebs, Doge is obviously the final boss, right? Yeah. But getting past the Pepes, getting past the Sheebs, you would think just logically the largest meme coin value wise on Bitcoin has to pass the largest Bitcoin or the largest meme coin on Ethereum. And I think that's the first goal you gotta beat. And then after that, who the final boss is.
100%. Like I feel like Dog's just getting started in a sense of a video game, right? Like you're maybe on level 2, right? The level 1 was the launch, level 2 was getting where we're at now. And now you have all these bosses to fight, right? You're right. This is the final boss. This is level 100, right? Yeah. But you have to be like, in the next couple of weeks, you're up against Brett right now. Brett's at 485. You're at 449. So this has been a battle. And then you got to take down ApeCoin. Then you got to take down Pudgy, and so on and so on. But I believe, and I would love to get your opinion on this, but I believe Dog will be past Floki by the end of the summer. I think Dog will be competing with Dog with Hat going into the fall. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually think it passes. I think it gets to $1 billion if the Kraken.
You think it starts fighting FARTCOIN?
Yeah. I think
Oh,
it
wow.
starts. I think
Okay.
I think it kind of runs through these, these opponents pretty quickly. It's kind of like Mike Tyson Punch Out. We start with Glass Joe, right? Glass Joe's Brett. Sorry, Brett lovers out there, but and then I think you kind of have a little bit of trouble at FARTCOIN, which to me I feel like that could be bald bull or whatever, or it gets a little bit harder. Then
Yeah.
you have two more Ethereum meme coins you got to get through, right? Obviously, you got to get through Bonk, and then so these are the legacy ones, though. When you start working out, not the new class, you got to get through
Yeah.
Bonk, you got to get through Pepe, and then obviously
Yep.
Sheeb. And so I just think that the opportunity it has to play together. Like the Kraken has to work with. I think Leonidas is going to be a big kind of tool too to kind of help Kraken maybe with just everybody going all at it at one time, all on crypto Twitter. TikTok probably is going to start seeing Dog over there, those kind of things. And we're probably going to have to need a little bit better overall broader crypto environment as well. So hopefully we can get into this risk on environment too. And maybe that's something that Kraken's hoping to kind of lay their bets on as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think a lot of these are even on Kraken, right? So I don't know if how do you see what exchanges FARTCOIN? You click it, right? And then at the bottom of the thing, it tells you what exchanges it's on.
Yep.
So FARTCOIN, let's see what exchanges it's on. Is it on Binance? I guess that's my first question.
I think it is.
All the way at the bottom.
Yeah, it should say there. Okay, so I have it up here. So BitGet, BitGet listed it. Let's go by volume. I want to see what the most volume is, anyways.
I'm just seeing Gate.io and KuCoin.
Okay, yeah. So not on Binance. I see Huibo or HTX, Gate. Yeah, and then a lot of DEXs have the most volume. BitGet, it's on BitGet. It's on Kraken. It's on Kraken.
Is it on Kraken? Okay.
Yeah, but it's like ranked number, like, I don't know, maybe 12th in terms of volume or something. Yeah. But it did like 11 million. So, if it did 11 million there and Kraken is going to do this big kind of co-marketing thing with Dog, Dog could kind of take a lot of the volume with Kraken, right? And so I would expect it to, because it's such a big deal, they've made it a big deal. I expect it to have more volume than FARTCOIN, but let's see, right? Let's see.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I'm excited. I'm excited for the next couple months in the meme coin ecosystem, which is, different from what I've ever said. But like, I think Dog has just gave me that fight, man. I want to see it up against ApeCoin. I want to see it against Pudgy Penguins and so on and so on. I think it's going to be a really, really fun cycle to be in, especially being in the Bitcoin ecosystem and being in Dog for sure. But let's just say Dog does get past FARTCOIN. Dog just starts ripping. Where do you see some of these other runes kind of pushing forward here? So let's just say Dog gets to, let's just say Dog 3x's gets to like 1.3 billion, right? Sitting there. Where's Gizmo if Dog's 1.3 billion?
Gizmo has had a resurgence of energy. Yeah, that I think it's been a better performer the past 2 weeks than most of the other runes, right? Now everything is down just because Bitcoin's pulled back, right? But I mean, look at it, it's at almost 9. It was at 9, and Billy's pulled back to 13. So it's kind of it's kind of like Billy chases Pups, Gizmo chases Billy. That's kind of the game there. But I could see if let's say Dog gets to 1.5 billion, I could see Gizmo easily at like 100 million. If it's at 1.5 billion, then I expect Billy to be at like 120 because its all-time high was at 155. Not everything's not guaranteed to get back to its all-time high. We know that, but we know that there's certain communities and certain brands in the runes ecosystem that are stronger than others. Billy's an IP play, right? So we know that community loves it. Billy to a Billy is a saying there. Pups crazy, so who knows? Gizmo could have enough energy to pass Billy, but I don't know. We'll see. Billy has passed Pups before in the past, but it was temporary. And then Pups is hold on a second, I'm Pups, and then it got to 200 million, right? So there's this kind of game of pride with communities, which I think is a very big benefit for the runes ecosystem. But it's going to be interesting to see how the centralized exchanges and that whole industry looks at number 2 and down, because number 1 is already in kind of like Dog is legendary in their eyes. It's like you're locked. You're gonna, you're making it, right? And you would think in a regular ecosystem chain or whatever that your number 2 through 4, 5 is going to benefit as well. Rune's a little different. We still need that home base. So maybe Arch gives us that in July. And then we start to see the Billies, the Pups, the Gizmos get on to Kraken as well. If they have the indexer, it'll be a lot easier for them to kind of add the number 2 through 5.
Yeah, 100%. No, I completely agree. I'm with you there. I guess my next question for you is, if you had to name, let's just say a year from now, what is the number 2 and number 3 behind Dog?
A year from now, number 2 and number 3.
I have mine ready, so I'm thinking it's going to be Dog. I think Gizmo's going to be number 2. I think Gizmo's going to win.
That's a pretty.
I think Gizmo just has that South Park, that that type of thing to a puppet. Pups is tough because Pups has puppets, right? It's kind of like that. So there is a community there with that, but they're more the ordinal guys. Like they're a lot of. I mean, you can see it right now at $20 million market cap, like and then you're seeing Pups kind of rip up. So I mean, puppets kind of rip up, and while the Pups tokens dropping. So they haven't really claimed Pups the way Farmer Joe wanted them to. Gizmo just feels different. Gizmo feels like the community is like ready to rally behind this, like almost like a dog type of nature. And I think Gizmo is that number 2, and I'm going to say Billy's number 3. I think Mim and kind of Pups kind of fall to that 4 and 5. I'd love to know your opinion.
Yeah, that could play out that way. I still would have Billy over Gizmo. The one that would be for me would be between Pups and Billy at that number 2 spot. Mim could make a crazy comeback. Let's not forget that they were migrated from BRC20 Wizard, which was at 100 million or something like that. So we got to really see how these communities really start to thrive. Now look, I see Mark here, and Track. I got to give him a little credit here. Yes, I don't really want to download Hypermall, but they are jumping on the Dog bandwagon. I think it's like at this point, if you're not leveraging Dog and you're a builder in the Bitcoin ecosystem, then I think you got to really think about doing something else, because it's like it's really like it's that easy, right? So yeah, I'm not saying that like Hypermall is going to be instantly successful because of it, but it was very smart for them to do the staking tap to receive Dog or vice versa, whatever it is.
I have an honest question. Why would I download Hypermall? Right, and then send bridge money into Hypermall and to buy Dog when I can go use something like RunesDex or DotSwap or Sats Terminal to do the exact same thing on layer 1. That's my biggest problem. Is like with Hypermall, there's no reason, rhyme or reason to really kind of download it.
So I see what you're saying. It makes complete sense. They're going to have to really put the incentives out, right? So the staking and stuff like that, they're going to have to attract people that way. Like this is the APR you can get from this, or this is that, right? I mean, because, they have been building in the space since we've been here too, right? And a little bit before us. And so it's not like they just showed up out of left field and said, hey, we have this Hypermall thing, you know what I mean? So
that kind of was it though.
No. But what I'm saying is like, we know them. They're not like nobody.
We know them as an indexer.
Yeah. But if it was somebody we had no idea that came out and did it, it'd be way more suspect, right? So I think that's where I think we can kind of give a little bit of grace to Track and say, okay, what's the incentives? Put the incentives out there. Put the incentives out there. Really.
Well, incentives they did, right? They doubled the track supply.
Wasn't it staking? Aren't they doing something with like staking to receive?
Yeah, but they doubled. Right, they doubled the track supply, or.
Gotcha.
So it tracks no longer 21 million either. So it's like
42.
I don't know exactly how high they want to go. I think they took the cap off, honestly, but I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know. I have a hard time. Like I said, we're going to talk to Benny. He's going to kind of, potentially talk.
That'd be a great episode. Yeah, it's been too long.
Into it. So yeah. I mean, I just have so many questions, right? I guess a lot of the questions are why. Give me a reason, and
why?
Well, it's like, but seriously, like, why would I download Hypermall? 1, which I hate downloading shit. 2, send money to Hypermall. 3, buy Dog. Like when I can just go to RunesDex, DotSwap, Sats Terminal to buy Dog.
Yeah. Or Ducher says, Deutsche says Runes needs Lightning and RGB with proper UI. Who offers that? I think Runes next might, right? Our guy or Ducher. Hopefully we can have a beer together at the next event. We couldn't make this one, but yeah, definitely want to catch up with you. And then Mark comes in and says 0 fees and
that's true.
Once it has full features, it will be the place to be staking, buy, sell, and brings all ordinals to one place. So yeah, I mean, 0 fees, cool. 0 fees, and then it is fast. I know it's fast because it's very fast. So
yeah. It said RunesDex is basically send your money to a pool that can be hacked. I would love to know Ord's Doucher's opinion on this comment because we're lucky enough to have somebody.
Yeah, I feel like there's about to be a little conflict in the chat. Hey,
but that's good. That's
chat.
how we learn. That's how we learn, right? We learn from people having questions. Like when I'm talking crap on the Hypermall or stuff like that, I'm just open to learn.
I didn't even think you were talking crap on it.
Well, I said I'm not going to download it, so I guess I don't know. That's about.
Well, hey, a browser supposedly is coming. I think that would be a great second option, right? So.
I'm down for that. I play with that, right? I would potentially bridge in for that, but
F's with that.
So you basically said, your opinion, dog, Billy, pups, Mims. You're saying Gizmo will be 5?
No.
That's what you said.
No, so I think pups, if there's a war with Billy being number 2, it's gonna be between Billy and pups. If not, then pups has fallen.
So
from Grace,
so
and then
number 2 or number 5,
and then Gizmo would be number 3.
So Gizmo number 3, no matter what.
I just like throwing darts right now.
So I'm just trying to I'm basically trying to get.
I love Billy. I love Lamb.
So dog, Billy, pups, Gizmo,
dog,
and
Billy,
then Mim.
Dog, Billy, pups, Gizmo, and Mim fighting for that last spot.
Wow.
Yeah,
because
I mean, you have to remember
Gizmo.
No, that's not it. Like I'm about to get into a solid position with Gizmo. Gizmo, look, a lot of these have their energy, but then they have their energy in their own kind of times. You know what I mean? And Gizmo just went through that. We've seen Billy do that. Billy actually kind of started the run back in October of last year, and so they all have their energy. They all have their support. Obviously, Dog leads the way with support and all that stuff, but I think we have a bright ecosystem as long as, like I said, this kind of rollout with marketing and stuff like that is good. If this is, then 2 through 4 or 5 will benefit, and then maybe some very low hanging fruits, the Mr. Yens, the Psycho Hamsters, those maybe get to like 20 million or something, 30 million. Yeah. But we do need, so there's a lot of infrastructure being built out in this kind of on-chain world, right? I think we need that home base though, that solidified home base, whether that's Arch or whatever. I'm not trying to pick winners here, but there is infrastructure that's being built out by multiple people, so I do like that. Yeah,
100%. I agree with that. I mean, I'm definitely excited for the Bitcoin meme coins. I'm excited for this ecosystem. I'm excited for a bull run. Honestly, I think what could happen in a bull run with these coins? We have. I think it's going to blow our mind. I think it's going to really be something special. I think we're all going to be like blown away by 200 million, 300 million, 400 million dollar market caps, while Dog is just taking on the big dogs, right? Dog is killing Dog Whiff. It's taking on Sheeb, right? It's becoming that leader of the pack, potentially going after Doge. I truly believe that, and I think you do as well. And that'll kind of conclude our segment here. But shout out to Tink, Lambocious Bag Lady. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for being
here
today.
The screen name or the username.
But shout out to you. Always in my comments. Much appreciate that for sure. And then let's jump to the off-chain news. Let's get into some other stuff. So Trump's Truth Social files for S1 for SEC with SEC for Bitcoin ETF, kind of something we saw coming. The Trump's kids. This is Don Jr.'s company. So, the one that he's ahead of, Eric kind of runs WLF with the help of his brothers, but Eric's kind of like the lead dog there. Junior's kind of the lead dog here, and then Eric also leads the Bitcoin mining, American mining. So, but what do you think about this?
Another solid product if it's legit. Obviously the SEC is going to check everything there, but I mean, they look like they are trying to build an empire that's going to last like the Roman Empire for the Trump family entity. I mean, you're talking about World Liberty Fi, you're talking about Bitcoin ETF, you're talking about Bitcoin mining, you're talking about the USDe stablecoin. I mean, like they're literally going down a checklist, it seems like, and they're saying, okay, we got this covered, we got that covered, we got this covered. and them kind of coming out and saying, hey, look, you know, like that meme coin, that wasn't necessarily us and all this stuff, but be careful with our name. It makes me feel like they're trying to kind of clean that up and say, hey, we're here for serious products. So I think this is big for their future of the name.
100%. And like one thing I've been hearing that no one's talking about either is the rumor is they're going to be tokenizing the real estate. I mean, the Trump empire started with real estate, and they're talking about potentially tokenizing that real estate and taking loans out of it in DeFi.
Yeah.
So there's two things that they don't have is a DeFi product, which they don't have yet, and then a RWA. And my rumor is they're working on both together.
Yeah.
So
well, and they have one of the most like fundamental products that you need infrastructure wise for DeFi, and that's a stable coin, right?
100%.
So
yep, and it's BSC's #1 stablecoin at the moment of trading and volume. But let's head over to our boy man Ordusher. He says we are the most battle-tested AMM product on BTC-L1. We have been going through internal audits and refactor. Since then, we have updated our security as well as the entire TX mechanism, transaction mechanism. I'll post about this soon. I appreciate you keeping tabs. We are not the only victims. That Black Weekend, yes. I mean, you got to remember. This is all new, right? This is 2016 DeFi, right? You know, for Ethereum. So for stuff to happen, I mean, it's very small amounts of money compared to everywhere else. So this
what
is
it could be a year down the road.
Mean, and think about it though, this is learning, and no customers in that situation were hurt. You know, everyone did get paid out, so it's not like, you know, this is a learning moment for them. And honestly, I'd rather be, you know, trading somewhere with that's been battle tested, that actually had some flaws in the beginning that actually worked through them. I mean, to me, that's progression.
That is how you learn. And it was I think 2 other major entities that went through that weekend. It definitely seemed like that weekend was targeting the Bitcoin ecosystem. So look, we know that the team from Runes Deck, solid dudes, all the way from David, Victor to Ord. Deutscher, we've met with them several times. Really cool team. And look, Victor has a ton of experience building in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So, you know, this is something that is good because now he's, you know, be able to patch up those holes or whatever issues there are and kind of move forward from there. But this team is awesome. And all the teams that, you know, we've seen, obviously, there are some teams that have kind of just gone away, but not many in the Bitcoin ecosystem, you know, especially ones that we've worked with. They hang around. They want to make the product environment a lot better. Eric.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, guys. If you're a project founder and you're not in our comments, or if you're a part of a team like Ordusher is, you're not in our comments. I mean, look at it. When
free shill.
But that's the thing, guys. If you're a project founder, get in our comments. We will talk about your project if you're interacting with us. So appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yuri has a question. You don't talk about Cypher anymore. What would swap that gizmo? So Cypher Genesis is a project from Butoshi. Butoshi is somebody who has his hands everywhere,
deep,
right? So
in AI, though,
he has a Ordinal project with the booze. He has the Butoshi. He's working on gaming. He's just not completely focused on Cypher Genesis, and this is just for me from the outside looking in. It's for me to be fully focused as a top 5. I mean, Cypher Genesis could compete for between 10 and 6. 100%. I agree with that. Like, but we haven't even really talked about those ones with Bro Bear and stuff like that. So Cypher Genesis, in my opinion, doesn't really have the community from my perspective as well to kind of push it into the top 5.
Yeah, and especially if you're talking about kind of the short-term flip, but like, don't be shocked if Butoshi releases something once Runes get hot. I think he's kind of waiting for Runes to get hot as an ecosystem, because AI is just not huge in Bitcoin right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, we know some stuff that's coming. Cypher Genesis is one that exists, and he has. Look, Butoshi is becoming one of the best vibe coders that we know, right? In terms of he's doing like side events and teaching it at the conference, right? And so I have all the faith in him. He's been on our show multiple times. And I expect him to probably release something in the future. This is me speculating that's related to Cypher Genesis, but maybe not. So if you're somebody that is expecting some sort of short return, Gizmo might be a better fit. You got to make that decision yourself, because then, like, down the road, it's kind of like, okay, he could come out with something that's an awesome AI product that's tied in with Cypher Genesis, or he might not. What I would do is definitely follow him on X, follow Butoshi on X, and look at his updates. How often is he talking about Cypher Genesis? Those kind of things. And it's just I haven't really seen it. So
Yeah, he's not talking
yeah.
about type of Genesis. That's the problem.
Yep. Uh-oh.
In my opinion. Oh shit, dude.
What?
Cash Cats is here with his coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon. Oh, I've been saying that. Shout out to Cash Cats. Been a while, my
What do you
friend.
think, Coach? We used to call him Coach for like the first 6 months that he would come in the show.
But shout out, so glad you're back, man. Absolutely amazing. You know it's going to be a bull market if Cash Cats is back.
Perfect timing too, with the coffee and the donuts
the
and
donuts
the dog.
and the
Go
dog.
to the moon.
moon. Shout out to you, my friend. All right. So we do know that Bitcoin's very headline driven right now, right? We're kind of waiting for the next headline. So President Trump today holds a telephone conversation with Chinese President XI Z, I think is they call him, right? Jinping to discuss trade. So what happens if China and the US get a deal done to where China gets down to 15% tariff, right? And the US gets down to like 5% tariff from that side. Does that push Bitcoin to new highs, or are we still waiting for what's happening next week with the CPI and after the week after that with Jerome coming out and speaking?
Ooh, so I think number go up, but 15%. I don't think that China would accept that. I think they want as close to zero as possible. They're like, we're China, we do blah, blah, blah. But like the US needs to have their kind of side that benefits. Does that mean that China is willing to open up to US products? That's the biggest thing right now. I think like the major products, like, the big brands, especially the ones that manufacture so much over there, they got to kind of let those come in, right? So like the Nikes, the Apples, those products they're in. They have a shoot McDonald's, they're in. But like, I think Trump wants more on like day-to-day little items and stuff, because those can kind of add up, right? And so I think there has to be a deal that's good enough for both sides. But look, I think personality-wise, if you remember his last term, they got along actually really well when they talked personally. But it comes down to like, the country speaking about the other country. That's how it always starts, and that's where the pride kind of comes in, right? But once they get kind of one-on-one, they'll visit each other. So that seems like that's what he's trying to do with Xi is get him over here for a visit, kind of soften him up a little bit and make a good deal.
And that's the thing too, right? When you're thinking about something, or you're talking to someone else and they're talking, like the messages get mixed before they actually reach the counterparty, the other party, right? So in this situation, when you're sitting down talking, anyone can negotiate owner to owner, or owner of a business to owner. Well, owner of a business to owner of a business. Like if me and you wanted to negotiate, I had a business, you had a business. If I send my lackey and you send your lackey, we might not get a deal done. But we both sat down and we were like, let's get this going. You're like, all right, let's do this. I feel like we could get a deal done faster than, because these guys can't make a decision, right? They have to go back and talk to the leader of the country or leader of the company in order for that decision to kind of go through. So, but I am expecting a pop though when this does kind of conclude, whether that's this week or next week. I think it does eventually conclude. So, or Doucher says, what are you guys looking at when evaluating Rune potential? Holders volume, 20 holders amounts, top 20 holder amounts. I wonder how effective it was for MIM to airdrop to so many peeps, because HIBT wants to list. Oh, I guess that's Hop it. I think that is list it when next. So when I go by cash tags on X, that's how I was
gonna say. So like you got to kind of right now. The hype is within our Bitcoin community, which, as you know, Eric, that is not necessarily the biggest community, right? The people that are diehards, we're here all the time, right? But then you can kind of rank them by holder count or by mentions. But everybody's anchoring right now on Dog, because Dog is just taking over X in a way that I think entities can't ignore it. You know what I mean? They're like, this is how meme coins get a lot of become the biggest ones is by mentions and constant craziness and cultish. So I think once Dog has made it, then we can kind of reassess and see, okay, people get interested in what's number 2, what's number 3, what's number 4. We'll get more interest from the outside. And then I think then it's going to be that cash tag game again. It's going to be like, okay, what are the mentions? I think Billy does pretty decent, but see, number 2 through number 4 or 5 doesn't compete with any of the other chains memes, even their number 2, number 3s. But number 1 over here is king right now, like on socials. So that's why I think everybody just really needs to continually do what they're doing for Dog with the cash tags, with the mentions, all that stuff. Let's get Dog to that place, to the moon. And then I think the others will benefit from that, especially if Kraken has that infrastructure. It's kind of like, what's going to be that next supportive community one that comes out of here.
Yeah. And do yourself a favor, like go to X, hashtag Dog, and just take a look. It's like every minute there's a new hashtag Dog. And look at Gizmo. And this is the reason why I think Gizmo is going to be number 2. I think Gizmo is going to be number 2 because hashtag Gizmo right now, you will see probably 30 or 40 tweets in the last hour or two, all just Gizmo. And then you look at Mim, Pups, and Billy, it's just not there right now. I'm not seeing much from Billy. The Billy community is just, I guess they're just tired from Vegas. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not seeing Billy on my timeline right now. So,
yeah.
But let's keep it moving here. So biggest news of the day is Circle Internet Group. I hate how they named that. That's our name on the stock market. Circle Internet Group goes public on NYSE, raising 1.1 billion in its IPO. Circle issues the second largest stablecoin USDC, which has a $60.9 billion market cap. So this is absolutely crazy. CRCL is the ticker. Went live at 9:30 this morning. They're officially trading on the stock market. I think Jeremy Allaire is somebody who's in charge of this or something like that. I forget, but this is absolutely huge for this ecosystem. This is amazing for crypto stablecoins. And it was funny because I listen to a stock show every morning called Pre-Market Prep, and it was funny. These guys were like, I think it's called a stablecoin, but he's like, I don't even know why you need a stablecoin. Why wouldn't you just use cash? And it just shows me again, we are so early.
Yeah, being able to raise that much is crazy, but people are calling USDC the cbDC of the US, but the major difference here is that with cbDCs, you don't really get to have any other stables in that region if there's a true cbDC, right? So because we are in a capitalistic market, or that's how our economy works here, there's going to be multiple different stables. So, but this does show that they're most likely in the lead in the US, right? They are in the lead here. So.
Well, now it comes down to lead on what chain. USD is kind of leading the charge on Solana, and Tether and USD, so they're head to head on ETH, and you know what I mean. Like, and then you have USD1 who's ahead on Binance chain, and to me, it's like, let's see who wins. I'm excited for the competition. Competition is what excites me, and if you were sitting in stables, why wouldn't you put half of that in USDC, half of that in Tether, and then put that in an LP pool on Uniswap? It's
USDC will never depeg ever again. Though after going public, I'm just saying, because they fall into the TradFi rules too.
Yeah, that's true.
You get what I'm saying? There's just gonna be so much firepower. There's gonna be so much firepower and I think that's what they're shooting for too. Is and like you and I don't, everybody knows how we feel about Tether. Like they're formidable beast of a stablecoin company so I don't think they'll ever depeg either, but. Who knows? You can never say never, but my point on the USDC side is like they're kind of they're trying to be that, like, prove that we're ironclad. You can nothing can destruct us. We're not indestructible.
Yeah, 100%. And what I heard from when they did depeg, they depegged once on a weekend. 2, after Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren destroyed Silverbank, right? That was #1 bank holding the cash that was backed. And it was a Saturday and a Sunday is when it depegged. So Coinbase now has plans in place for weekends to make sure that you're right, that this will never happen again. So,
yeah. We got a comment here. This one's interesting. It's from Paulie. It says, Dog being traded on Solana is a catalyst that could speed up adoption. Like, I mean, I think the volume has definitely picked up over there. So
yeah, that's the thing too. Shout out to RuneMine. They're bringing runes to Solana. So if you're someone who doesn't have a Bitcoin wallet, you never downloaded Xverse or Unisat, and you want exposure as a dog, you just got to buy it on Solana, right? And I know it's on other chains as well. It's on Cardano. So if you have a Cardano guy and you don't want to explore,
it's gonna be on Near. And what's going on with Odin? I mean, I thought they were supposed to add Dog a long time ago.
I just think he's trying to get all of his ducks in a row, make sure everything's good for sure. Tink asks about Lobo. Are you bullish on Lobo? I know I don't know. I just got a weird feeling from that team, but
No, I'm not. I mean, I think
yeah,
middle, like they could get to 50 million when things
yeah,
are like, picking up. They could get to 70 maybe. Look, they do have like a small VC kind of
yeah,
group or investment group that is backing Lobo, and they were part of the group that helped funded the Runestone.
yeah,
Jeff from Merlin Chain was part of that
yep,
too. I forgot what the Buoyant Capital. That's
yeah.
who it was,
Point
right?
Capital. Yep.
Behind them. So they have opportunity, but I think you could do decent, maybe 2 to 5x
Yeah.
max kind of situation. But the second coin, so I was getting a little bit worried about look, Leonidas said there's multiple, isn't there 3 total?
Yeah, there's 2 more, and he confirmed it yesterday. Someone asked him a
Okay.
question, and he actually commented. He said, "There's 2 more coming."
Okay, so this is all a part of the plan with Dog, right? So I think obviously the number one plan with Dog is to get Dog to a point of success, right? Get
Billion.
it to that billion. I would say like get it to that 1.5, right? Get it
Yeah.
comfortable there, because then it will kind of do its own thing, right? And then you come out with that second coin, but that one, I think everybody's gonna want it. Because they
Yeah.
know how hard the dude works hard, bro. Like he worked really hard for the Dog Army. So
Yeah.
like he's gonna work. I don't know why you
Well,
would put that on yourself, but
there's a rumor that he's waiting for the tickers to get smaller because
okay.
every couple months or whatever, one ticker drops. I think it's down to like 9. You can do a room with 9 tickers now. So rumor has is waiting for 6 and 3. So 3 will be around the time of the next halving.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but we'll see. And rumor has too that he might be changing to when the 3 tickers do drop, grabbing that ticker and then airdropping that snapshot and airdropping that to dog holders.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We will see. All right. And these are just rumors, guys. Something that I'm just watching around on X. But let's jump to the fear and greed here. Banners, grab that. Where are you? A lot of stuff. Okay, so get to the crypto fear and greed. So yesterday we were at man. Okay, so last week we were at a 65. Yesterday we're at 57. Tuesday we're at a 58. And then Monday we're at a 59.
56.
We're not. No, hold on. I was
okay.
right. So we're close. We're close. I'll give you
55?
that. What would you guess?
55.
Yeah, right there. So we are just just a downtrend.
Wow. I mean that's actually
so,
like closer than I thought. I mean, it's just so crazy how
yeah.
it's been going down a point and then it skipped to 2 points this time. But
yeah. So tomorrow, 50 or 60?
I was like, Bitcoin's acting very bipolar right now. I don't know, man. I gotta feel like there's gotta be a rise back up in the second half of today, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right, let's get into the Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura .finance. Artura, these guys are going to be launching on Hemi, which is a L2 on Bitcoin, and they're going to be launching on Botonics. We're not sure which one comes first. We're kind of waiting to kind of see what these guys are planning. We're watching their X very closely, but we know they're going to be a Bitcoin L2 leverage trading platform. When you're using something like Hemi, you're actually potentially earning an airdrop from them, and they are backed by Binance. So let's just say you're using Artura on Hemi, potentially not only getting the ARA airdrop, but could potentially be getting the Hemi airdrop as well. That is an opportunity for you guys. But then on Botonics, we're hearing they're not going to have a coin, but they're figuring out other ways to incentivize it. And with other projects there, potentially they're going to be looking into some other really cool stuff. Really excited for Artura to be on Botonics and very excited for it to be on Hemi. This is something to look out for, guys. Think hyper liquid, think big time leverage trading platform, and it's going to be a Bitcoin L2. Really looking forward to what Artura.finance is building.
Yes, we are excited for that team. That team has been really grinding out for you guys to get you guys an amazing platform. So just stay tuned for their latest updates from us. We'll let you guys know when that mainnet's going to be live. But yeah, before getting to Bitcoin price action, guys, help us out. Smash that like on the YouTube side. Subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. And then on the X side, let's share the space, guys. Let's get it going. We need to onboard as many people to our industry as possible. We want to educate, onboard as many people. And then on the abstract side, if you could share that stream link, we would greatly appreciate that. But let's jump into a Bitcoin price action, which has been very bipolar, as I stated. It's not fun whenever a Bitcoin acts this way because you just don't really get a good feel on where we're headed. And I mean, just look at these indicators. You see, like, we did have this uptrend start, and there wasn't really much like chop in the middle before this downtrend started. It almost happened instantaneously, right? And so typically you will get a little bit of a sideways chop before the trend actually starts. But we'll see if it kind of evens out to what this was and kind of do the opposite and kind of make that symmetrical shape here of kind of like this upside down V, right? This up arrow top here. But let's take a look here. It looks, the indicators are throwing me off big time. You see a lot of this kind of choppiness with the stochastic RSI, which means, but it does let me think like we have been away from the overbought quite a bit, right? So maybe it's time to kind of reverse this, but it shows that it wants to head down. So that's where the confusing part is, right? Let's see if some headlines come out between that from that meeting, right? So we get some positive headlines, we can turn this sucker around. But in terms of what the indicators are showing, it does look like it wants to chop with even a little bit more down. But look, we were in the sell pressure for quite a long time, right? So this is almost the extension of this downtrend. You can see right here, right? So that makes me think that, like, I just don't, I would say that, like, we've been here for a minute. We didn't get any buy pressure at all. So I just can't see another kind of, it's happened. It does happen, but like just another kind of lengthy sell pressure start with the MACD. But let's see what happens today. Again, another reason why I'm thinking this too is because, like, I just still believe in the M2 money supply. I think if we break down, 102 was kind of that bottom. I think Bob Lucas was talking about. I agree with that. I think that's an area that we can maybe touch, maybe go a little bit below it. If we do break below 100, I don't expect it for us to stay down there. I expect us to come right back. But if we do break, it breaks down, we break below 100, we head towards 95. I think that the M2 money supply chart is in trouble because, then we have to kind of pull it back out and draw and say, are we going to go a full inverse? If we do, that's going to hurt like a mother. And then we got to wait out to see if it gets back on track. That's just going to be a not fun time, right? So I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think, if anything, worst case scenario, we tread along where that M2 supply is kind of up. We tread along that line and we hang around, at the low end, the 102, maybe close to 100, and then we kind of range all the way, and it can range all the way back to 109, 110, and kind of range until we find that bullish kind of pocket again to where we start that next leg up. Because I'm still in that camp that we go there. So second half of today, I really need a little bit more time, honestly, guys. I don't want to throw anything out here because it's just not getting much, right? But if I had to pick, I would say it probably wants to go further down, right? Because that's what the indicators are showing. Let's look at the support and resistance here a little bit here and see if we can have some support levels here. So this data is pulling from midnight yesterday. So I want a little bit further in. Let's get this data from 6 p.m. yesterday. So I think that's fair. Let's look at what the transactions are showing. So where we are right now, we actually are showing some pretty decent support at this exact level, but the level we're trying to break in, it's resistance here, right? So we're seeing that 104, 800. We're fine in this level, and we actually have support underneath too. So this is okay. Because if we do drop a little bit here, we do have some support, showing some support below it. But this is kind of when that resistance starts to kick in. So we definitely need more bids or some large bids to kind of help push us through this 105, kind of level to get to that 105. We need some either bigger bids or more bids on the buy side, because right now this is what's giving us the most trouble, is this 104, 800. It's hard for us to get past that. So with that being said, if we keep trying to knock at this level and we can't get through, then unfortunately I do see further down here, meaning that we could, get back to the low 104s for the next 4 hours, maybe high 103s. But that is what I'm seeing on the hour chart. Let's get to the 4-hour chart and see what kind of data we can get here. So the 4-hour chart is showing that we are in sell pressure on the MACD. We just kind of got to oversold. So this doesn't look very great, right? So this can kind of play into getting with that sideways down with the downtrend. So getting into the low 104s, 103s, possibly 102s, guys. So don't panic though, because I feel like 102 is something that we haven't hit exactly yet. It's been kind of called the last week and a half. We got to, I think, low 104s, maybe high 103s, but we've never hit 102. So I would say don't panic yet. Let's kind of see how Bitcoin reacts off of that 102 level, right? But it is showing that it's not super strong sell pressure here, but it's definitely built up a little bit. So maybe we do get a little bit of that downtrend for the rest of the day. Now, if it does start to get stronger, we head towards 102. Maybe we get that for today's Thursday, heading into the weekend, and then Sunday could kind of be that let's reset on Sunday kind of day, right? So that's what we're seeing for the 4-hour chart. Let's get to the weekly here. Weekly is showing a strong second red candle starting to form here. Not worried. I am not worried at all. Honestly, I'm not. I'll start to worry, I think, if this gets really hyper aggressive and we're starting to break down below 100K though. And so tomorrow's show, I might change my stance. I'm not worried yet though, because I feel like this is normal for us to have some pullback on the weekly after having a crazy, just uptrend of candle after candle after candle on the weekly chart, right? So it's okay. It's expected. I think we're still fine with our leading indicators here. We haven't been in overbought too long on stochastics. The MACD is a little bit showing a little bit of exhaustion, but this is the weekly chart. So this could change completely. And next week's candle could be dark green bigger if we have like a good Sunday evening or something and starting off Monday really strong, right? So I would say it's definitely not time to panic at all. But I feel okay, even though we are looks like we might finish the week red. We'll see how today, tomorrow, and Saturday play out, but it's okay if we do. It'll just be our second red candle on the weekly chart. Now, if it breaks down, like I said, below 100K, that's a different story. Let's take a look at the others chart. The others chart is everything besides Bitcoin and the top 10 here. So no Ethereum, no Cardano, no XRP, no Doge, and they don't count stables. So that's not even in the discussion here. So yeah, so the others is starting to follow Bitcoin, right? You can see here the MACD is starting to get really exhausted here. So we either need
shoulders.
Yeah, we either need Bitcoin to turn around aggressively, kind of pull this back up. It is a delayed pull with Bitcoin, or we need Ethereum to say game on, and it just hasn't yet, right? When Ethereum says game on, meaning alts, it's time for alts to really run. This will very quickly start to follow it. Now, it doesn't seem like Ethereum's ready for that yet, and maybe because we're just so far from Q4, because like maybe like we'll see that towards the end of Q3. Because like at the end of the day, they might just have one good dance, the alts, and that might be towards the beginning of Q4. So I'm not freaking out too much here. This is going to follow Bitcoin's sentiment until Ethereum decides to kind of break off of the hip there and do its own thing, and then it'll follow Ethereum. But I think we're okay there. The crypto bubble is going to look bad. I should have warned you guys. Yeah, so let's take a look here. Where's our guy? Oh, FARTCOIN pulled up a little bit because it was a minus 11% earlier this morning. So maybe FARTCOIN leads the way, right? You got to just follow that scent. And then
tomorrow's not going to be good though.
Yeah, well, unless it starts to catch up, right? Unless it starts to catch up, it gets to like minus 5% by the end of the show. But I don't want to really beat a dead horse here, but you can see, things that have kind of gone into the double digits, the very beginning parts of it. You can see Dogwolf Hat down at 10.11%, Jupiter down 9.8%, Pepe down 7.6%, Trump down 3.1%, Lido down 7.4%, IMX down 5.5%, Litecoin down 2.5%, Solana down 3.7%, and Cardano down 1.9%. Let's take a look at our guy Dog here, see how much he's down. He's probably down a decent amount.
The hell is LA?
I know, that's what, remember I told you at the beginning?
Oh yeah.
Pre-show prep. I was like, LA's up 270. I don't know what LA is. Liquid something, maybe? I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Mog is down 10%. Where's our guy Dog? Go to the moon. There he is. There he is. Down 5.9%. Not too bad compared to the other memes. But yeah. Let's see how the rest of today, guys, plays out, guys. Look, it's not panic time. So that's all I'll say. And then we can move on.
Yeah, I'm not too happy with any of that.
I don't know. I'm not gonna paint a nasty picture pretty if it's not. But look, it's also not as nasty as it looks. I promise.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, it reminds me of last summer, and I'm kind of getting that. I hate to be the downer, right? But like last summer was tough. It was tough to get through. It sucked, right?
But what
Not
did I tell
you
you the
couldn't.
difference was?
Oh,
Like,
the
whoa.
M2 money supply. Yeah,
Yep, we didn't have that last summer.
yeah, it was sideways. It was sideways and down through the entire summer. So, but yeah, you're right. So I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping that I let. They
Top of
sold
the
in May and
D.
went away. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It's time for a bullish summer. It's really hard to say because I was here the last 4 summers and they weren't bullish since 2020. But who knows? Who knows? We might be in that difference here. It's different this time.
Yes.
Let's kind of
Yes,
get
it's
into
different
the
this
roll
time.
call here. Let's shout out who's first is first on this show. If you are the first comment of the day, you get put on this amazing Excel sheet or Google sheet, whatever you want to call it, and you get tracked. So everyone on this list is going to be very happy that they made this list. I promise you. So if you haven't made the list yet, do yourself a favor and get on it. I got the Bob's on here, Mr. Sheedy's on there, Matt's, all the way back to Mike's World and Axel, and you guys are on here. So, but yeah, so I highly recommend everyone at least try to get one of these spots here. So let me add this to my screen. So today is winner. It's looking like it is. Oh wow, Lucky Lukey won 3 days in a row, bro. Holy crap. And now he is 1 behind Danny. Danny, bro, you better get your stuff together, man. He is he's catching up. So he's officially, he's as of yesterday, he's 2nd place. But yeah, dude, 3 days in a row. It does look like WebDro got reaped. So if you don't know what the reap is, for some reason, YouTube decides to delete comments. I don't know why they do it, but they do it. Nothing to do with us. But it does look like 3 a.m. is when Lucky Lukey was back here, and then WebDro right at 5. So WebDro did check at 5 to see if he was still a guy. And sorry, man. But then Danny was number 3. Shout out to Danny. He says, "Wow, GM." Nighthawk is here. Shout out to Nighthawk. He says, "GM, when dog to a Billy." I'm thinking it's Tuesday. I just don't know what Tuesday.
You know what's going
Tuesday
up
in September
on a Tuesday.
Tuesday. 100%. Mempo Punk is here. Shout out to Mempo Punk. Now Bob is here. Shout out to now Bob. Bitmap Capital every single day. And then we got Spindrift is here. Bitcoin is Truth. Chips and Dip. Vader Time. Abstract. Shout out to all you guys. Chief Axel's here. He said, "I swapped my BTC for a dog." I actually saw that as a t-shirt from the OnChain Revolution.io site. If you guys are interested in that t-shirt, but shout out to you. Then Doucher, man, appreciate you being here today, man. All your comments were absolutely amazing. Matt's is here. Shout out to Matt's. My boy, no is here. Did no just come back?
He did, dude.
Like,
they're starting to come back. I love,
yeah,
because
man.
I'm hearing the stuff from 6 months ago, in the roll call.
The dog go to the moon. I love that. I love Cash Cats, man. Choda, someone who never left. Appreciate you, my friend, every single day. So hit that likes and share with your favorite YouTube channel. Thank you so much for that, man. Really appreciate you, my friend. And then the legendary MoChain says, "I don't think Solana memes are booming because they are funny. They just have that users and other chain." FARTCOIN's actually funny though. Like there is a lot of meme coins over there that aren't doing as good as FARTCOIN, including Dog Whiff. Dog Whiff's not funny, right?
Yeah.
If anything, it's cute, but I don't find that as a genre.
It doesn't make you giggle.
It doesn't make me giggle. I gotta giggity. But MoChain says meme coins have no long-term value. I believe almost all will be worth nothing.
I
in the
disagree
future.
with that.
I'm sorry for this, but you do sound like a banker talking about Bitcoin, right? So they're community coins. It's a community-based coin. So what were you saying now?
Well, I just disagree with that because you've seen, like, you have data to prove that that's not true, right? And you go to Doge. Now, did Doge kind of have a lucky moment to get going? Sure.
Yeah.
But it's sustained, and now Doge is it's its own chain. It's Doge is going to grow over time because it's in that legacy group, right? And so I think over time, though, it's going to have less and less of an effect, but like I think this might be one of the last times like Dog has an opportunity here. But like if we're talking maybe 6-10 years down the road, meme coins might not have, and they might, who knows, they might still, but I see where it's coming from, but I don't think it's right.
Yeah, you're my guy, MoChain. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the comment as well. Mark says, we talked about this already. He says, will dog, okay, so BTC is a safe bet. Alts change lives if picked. Will dog be it? Only time will tell. I think 100%. There's no other meme coin that I think, or any other coin on Bitcoin, period. I don't care utility or not. Dog is absolutely number one.
Yeah, but you can't let up on the gas, though. Right now,
No.
the dog community, double, triple,
Hashtag,
quadruple
guys.
down. Yeah,
4 tweets a day.
quadruple down. Because like,
Every
you guys
single
have
one
done
of you guys.
amazing, but this is everybody's counting on you. No, I'm just kidding.
And I was named one of the top 15 dog influencers, so that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So I'm going to push harder. I'm going 4 tweets a day, 4 hashtags a day with dog. So Ordful just says, I agree, guys, about Billy number 3 and Mim out there. Man, Mim seems like such a crazy guarantee. I have a hard dude. Hashtag Mim on X, man. That's all I got to say. You just don't see it. You just don't see it at all. And it's a great ticker. I mean, it's old school, right? It brings back the old school vibes, but the community just isn't there for me. Lackey Lukey says, "Hail guys, what's up, Lackey, my guy?" Mark, 0 fees and instant. You have 100% on that, man. And let's see, what comments haven't we got to you so far? We hit all these Pauly, Cash Cats. And then we're going to finish it up with Rick G, our guy. Hey. Long live. Dude, it feels like last year, bro. Yeah. It does.
It's happening, guys. We are brewing. We're brewing.
Yeah, man, 100%. He said, gotta go. Thanks, bros. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for hanging with us, man. We'd love to see you here every day. Patty Poo, the Bitcoin machine himself, my guy. Appreciate you, my friend. And finishing off with Cash Cats. He's a dog doing my part. The army, second to none, 100%. And Cash has been one of those guys with the coffee and the donuts and the dog go to the moon all last summer, every single day. Love that you are back, my friend, and appreciate that you are here. All right, I got a couple more banners here.
Yep.
All right, let's jump to it. Okay, so over 340,000 ETH, worth nearly $900 million, are now queued for Ethereum staking, the highest level in over a year. Admin a rising demand of post-SEC guidance. 340,000. This number is growing every single day. So what happens is, with ETH, is only a certain amount of ETH can get staked per day. So you get put in a queue. So it's kind of like a thing where only a certain amount of ETH can get withdrawn. So as ETH gets withdrawn, new ETH can come in, right? But this is absolutely insane because they're probably going to have to up this limit now because there is potentially going to be, 100, 300 million ETH kind of eventually needing it staked. So we're going to see huge demand for staked ETH, whether that's from Lido or some other, liquid staking place, or just people who have TradFi accounts who want to, buy ETH to stake it to earn that 6% yield. There's a demand for that yield, man.
Well, so this kind of shocked me, but they couldn't do 300 million ETH because there's only 120.72 million ETH, which their supply is way lower than I thought it was.
I meant, yeah. That is lots more than I thought it was too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I thought because like we know how the supply works with the missions with ETH, it's open-ended, right? But because they have this weird mechanism of like the burning aspect of it, which I actually think is really cool. I guess we're not paying attention to it as much because the volume just isn't crazy like it once was. But maybe it is more than we think because it's stabilized, and we're talking about only 6 times the supply of Bitcoin. Which this is why I think I agree with you. Maybe that Ethereum could get to this crazy price of what would you say 18,000 by like the end of
19,500, and I said that was Bitcoin's top in 2017. I think it's the same trajectory. It's following Bitcoin.
I think you said 2027 though, right? For something like that.
No, 2020. Like
at the end of this year,
and end of the cycle.
Oh, okay.
Cycle top 19,000. Gotcha. Cycle top next cycle in 2020, 2029 would be for me 70,000, 70 to 90,000. So, but this is pretty insane. Yeah, my bad. I meant to say 3 million if I said 300 million. But
gotcha.
I think eventually get to an entry queue of like 3 million. I think this 10x is. I think there's going to be a ton of demand, especially when TradFi enters Ethereum, and they're going to enter hard because you can own Ethereum. You can run the Ethereum blockchain with just what is it, $150 million, right?
Yeah.
All you need is 51%, and you can control the chain.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
All right. So Ethena just got put on Coinbase, and this is a big deal because Ethena is a stable coin, right? So I didn't think Coinbase was going to launch Ethena. So Ethena is the company, and USDe is a stable coin, right? So basically like Circle.
Yeah.
But Ethena, they do things differently than the other stable coins. That's what separates them apart. But I was shocked to see Ethena get launched on Coinbase because of the fact that USDC is such a big thing to them. Are you shocked by that?
A little bit, but they have been pretty popular and they've
Yeah.
been used as like a basket of goods to, collateralize another stable
Well,
token.
yeah,
You know what I
100%.
mean?
Yeah, you are
Uh,
seeing
eh,
that. Yep.
The infamous Bank of Nakamoto, who I
Yeah,
think used
yeah,
There's some crazy mechanics that go into it, like with leverage and utilizing
yeah,
the seller fee. I don't know all that stuff, but
yeah.
there's
So
some
I
sort of
actually took a deep dive, so I'll actually
okay.
explain it to the audience here. So Athena holds liquid staking tokens like STE, staked ETH, which is the Lido ETH, right, as its main form of on-chain collateral. These assets earn staking yields, right? They offset the price volatility from ETH exposure. Athena opens up short positions in ETH perps futures on major sexes, Binance, OKX, and etc. This creates a delta neutral position. The shorts perps usually trade at a funding premium. You get paid to be short. Athena captures this funding as an additional income along with the staking rewards from LSTs. Wow. So this was a lot. I mean, so they basically go long ETH, get the yield, and then short ETH. And so they can't lose. That's why
Yeah.
it's called a delta neutral stablecoin.
Yeah, but obviously, an institution like Coinbase has vetted that and
Yeah.
deemed it safe to be able to list it, right? So,
Yeah.
obviously, there's some benefits there for them to do this because I agree with you. They're so focused on USDC.
Yeah.
So there's something that Coinbase is cooking up or has something probably, in the back end benefiting from this. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, obviously, but has to be, don't you think?
Yeah, unless they're just like there's just demand for it from
Yeah.
people like, yo, when are you guys gonna list this? Right? Like I want to hold this, but I want to hold it on Coinbase. And they're like, people are going on chain to get this. We might as well put it on here. And there's rumor is they're gonna be putting cbUSDe potentially
Oh,
on
wow.
Coinbase as well. So we might see that. So we'll see. Um, but moving along here, so Coinbase launches its wrapped XRP and Dogecoin on Base. So now you're going to see cbXRP and cbDOGE on Base, which means that if it's on Base, it can easily be bridged to Arbitrum, Polygon, Optimism, Sony. I mean, you might even see it on Binance Smart Chain, potentially even Merlin. You're going to see cbDOGE and cbX in a lot of liquidity pools in a lot of different places, and I'm sure that you're going to see Brad Garlinghouse and his team kind of add liquidity to every exchange, PancakeSwap, Uniswap, everywhere they possibly can to make sure XRP is one of the highest trading on those dexes. It's just smart to do it. And then Dogecoin and their community, they're going to make sure that LPs are everywhere as well. I'm excited for this. I think this is absolutely awesome that Coinbase is doing this. And the fact that it's Coinbase, I'm okay with it being wrapped tokens because I know that they hold MicroStrategy's Bitcoin. So I'm not worried about them going insolvent.
And I think it can kind of normalize wrapped assets too, a little
Yeah.
bit, right? But you and I talked about this, typically when this has been attempted from the DeFi side, we know wrapped Bitcoin works. Obviously, there's a DAO
Yeah.
for it. There was a very intentional movement there. So they made sure that worked. You have wrapped ETH2 and stuff, but like when you would try some of these like other newer tokens, and people have tried Doge on Ethereum, and it just it wasn't sustainable.
Yeah.
But maybe like this is what the route's going to have to be. It's like a centralized exchange kind of gets it going that has like Binance could do it with BSC, Coinbase can do it with Base. Maybe crypto.com can do it with Kronos, those kind of things. So where there's people feel comfortable saying, okay, this is an official wrapped asset. And then it goes through, you just got to see that collateral and see what it, because I expect the collateral to be pretty substantial, right? You're talking about market cap. What is the market cap going to be for these wrapped assets? They have to be substantial enough to make people believe in them.
And they need liquidity. right? Without liquidity. And I think that's why they launched XRP and Doge, because they want to make sure they can add liquidity. And Coinbase, you know, they have a partnership with Velodrome, and they add liquidity to a lot of the tokens that are there. So but they earn on that. That's another way of Coinbase makes income. They make income by, you know, taking their assets and putting them on DeFi platforms like Velodrome, like Uniswap, and earning those fees. That's, I mean, it's stupid not to.
Yeah,
So.
and Wrap Bitcoin's respected because it's I think $11 or $12 billion market cap for it.
Well,
right?
It's not respected by
the maxis, but it's respected.
Coinbase hates it. They have cbBitcoin.
Well, that's a self you know, intentional to bring their branded Bitcoin up. That's the reason why they don't like it, even though they
Bitcoin
claim
is barely on base chain.
Well, is it even there anymore? I thought they took
I don't know. I think, well, no, it's off Coinbase, but base chain.
But it's everywhere else though. It's on Arbitrum, it's on ETH, it's on BSC, it's on Merlin, it's on all these other chains. So my point that I'm making though is the market cap kind of backs it, right? You got 11, 12 billion. So these market caps, I expect them to be at least, you're talking about like, you know, 500 million to kind of start off with, something like that.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
Depending on how much Coinbase holds, right? That's the thing. So they've obviously been buying these up to do this. But let me ask you something. If you had to pick one to hold for the next 10 years, are you holding Wrap Bitcoin or cbBitcoin? I know my answer.
I mean, what's the market cap of cbBitcoin? Let me see.
I don't think that matters.
It does matter to me, because I feel like because what if it's like $80 million?
What does it matter?
4.3 billion.
It's as long as it's convertible back to Bitcoin, it doesn't matter.
Well, the problem is that like if it's not, if the peg falls off, right? That's the whole issue,
Coinbase.
right?
Coinbase goes down.
So that's what I'm trying to say. So like I expected to see this market cap. The market cap is 4.27 billion. So I don't know. I mean, like, look, people might say they don't trust Justin Sun, but like to me, he's like Tether. Like people have been trying to shoot him down and kill him for the past like since whenever Tron started, and they haven't been able to do it. And he was just at the Bitcoin conference and give that banana to Ross.
Well, who do you trust more, Justin Sun or Brian Armstrong?
I mean,
come on.
Okay, so like the reason why is because Coinbase is public. So yeah,
100%.
that's why I would trust cbBitcoin more.
That's just kind of my point. I love what Justin Sun's done. I love Wrap Bitcoin, but if you're sitting there and you're saying CB or WBTC, I'm choosing cbBTC every single time. But
yeah, I mean, I use Wrap Bitcoin, you know.
Oh yeah, I use it every day. Yeah. So, so a solo miner successfully mined a Bitcoin block, earning 3.151 Bitcoin, worth $330,000. So imagine just running a BitX. You've run it for one reason, right? If you're not joining a mining pool, you're running it for one reason. You're running it to basically help the Bitcoin network, to basically say, you know, Bitcoin only needs one miner to survive, and that one miner might be mine one day, right? So that's kind of what it is, right? So you're just doing it for the network. You're just paying that $40 a month or whatever it is that costing you electricity to run that. You're not really expecting for the lottery ticket, and that's what happened. The solo miner just won 3.15, and it does happen. It happens every couple months, so it's not like it's thing. But the chances of win, I looked it up, is 0.00015% of a chance to win. So there is still a chance. But would you do this, or would you just go into one of the mining pools?
I would probably go into a mining pool.
Yeah, you'll earn 0.00001.
I don't know I don't know. Maybe just how I would. I don't know. I would have one just in case, because like you can
lottery ticket.
Yeah, it's like a lotto ticket. But
yeah. Imagine waking up though and there's 3.15 Bitcoin in your wallet. Like that's a good day. That's a good day. All right. So Bitcoin 300K call options are surging as traders bet on massive price moves, with June 2027 as the expiry date. So people are saying, and I'm in this camp, right? I think it's going to be around 300K in June 2027, because I think it's going to hit 700K and then bounce down. And the bear market low potentially could be 300K. That's what I'm thinking, right? That's kind of my trajectory of what Bitcoin goes. What do you think about this, man? 300K call options for June 2027. A lot of them, massive amount coming in.
This is something that kind of worries me a little bit because I feel like the platforms and entities that offer these products probably don't want them to win this, right?
Yeah.
But they're probably playing off of the money supply, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, depending on what price they got the call options at, right, is where they're going to take their profit. But 300K, that's pretty tough to hit by the end of this month.
No. This is June 2027.
Oh shoot. Okay,
Yeah.
2027. Okay. So yeah, that's definitely doable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
300K by 22
yeah, I
days.
was like, I definitely read that wrong. Wait, 2027? Dude, that seems like a guaranteed bet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these are just rolling in right now. So, you know, a lot of people are thinking that we're gonna 3x from here in what 2 years? And it's easy. So
Yeah.
but that could also be a bear market year. So are you prepared to hit 700 and then hoping that in June 2027 that it stays above that, right? So
Yeah, that's the scary part, right? But if they go live now, you can take profit whenever between now and then. So
gotcha.
that's the game, right? So it's whenever the call option goes live, the price point, the strike price or whatever price you got it at, right? And then you basically get you'll see your P&L the entire ride, right? So if you're down,
Yeah.
you're down, you'll see that. But yeah, it's I think this seems like this is why I like options though. It's because like you don't get liquidated. You have up until this time to really take profit if you want, and it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Options on Bitcoin. It's definitely coming. So but be cool. But Tether CEO Pablo Arellano says the company will keep its main focus outside the US, prioritizing growth markets in Asia, Latin America, and Africa. So Tether's like, yeah, USDC won the US. They got do your thing. USD won. If you want to battle them, go ahead. We're gonna take our talents to South America, to Africa, and to Asia. What do you think about this? The job here for Tether.
It's kind of like, hey, you guys wanted to treat us this way. We're just gonna keep growing in other parts, right? So that's the feeling I got. It's almost kind of like having a chip on your shoulder when you're already a giant. You know, it's like pissing off a giant and saying, okay, we're gonna dominate every other part, and eventually, I think they probably work their way back to the US. We'll see.
Yeah, man. And the last thing here, K-Wave Media has secured a $500 million to adopt Bitcoin as its treasury asset, aiming to become the meta planet of Korea. So we had yesterday a Bitcoin-friendly president now in South Korea, and now the next day, one of the biggest media platforms over in Korea is now adopting Bitcoin, and not just a little bit of Bitcoin. I'm talking $500 million of it as their treasury asset. What do you think about what is happening in Korea right now? South Korea.
Not shocked.
Yeah.
Not shocked. And so you know, it's something expected. I think from Korea. Korea is a very similar country to the US in terms of how they run it, and in Japan as well, actually, in terms of their government. So I'm not shocked that they are doing this. Plus, they're really big on crypto. So this is big though, because you know, it could be a little bit of a snowball effect within other countries in Korea. Korea's kind of like a monkey see, monkey do in terms of success. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see like another company invest large into this to start their reserve as well.
Yeah, man. All right, guys, that is our show today. Sitting at 318 people on YouTube and X. I really appreciate all of you guys, man. Not to mention everyone on Twitch, Kick, Abstract, Rumble, and later today we will be posted on Spotify. But appreciate every single one of you guys who listen to us every single day, and everyone who's coming back. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us every day, man. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, guys. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. And without our partners, we also couldn't do it. So if you wouldn't mind checking them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the aggregator DEX for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You can swap for runes directly at satsterminal.com. And right now, you can actually earn for your first time connecting your wallet to their website 1,000 Amber points. These Amber points are going to be going towards Alpha in the future, is where I have to kind of stop that and leave it there and let the team kind of continue to explain that as they get closer to that. But I would say my advice to myself and to my close ones is get as many Avmer points as you can get. It's definitely a beneficial thing there. And then they have staking and bridging on the way, guys. It's on the way, so just be patient with that. There's gonna be new updates with that. But if you want to swap for Dog to the Moon, head over to satsterminal.com. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. All you need is a Bitcoin wallet, some Bitcoin, and 6 Bitcoin blocks, and you can start placing bets in their Blitz markets. Blitz markets are 10-minute markets. You get a countdown to pick your price for Bitcoin, Solana, or BNB. Pick up or down, lock that in, and then you get an additional 10 minutes to see if you won or lost that bet. Also, you're going to be able to create your own markets and earn 1.5% of the total volume. That's going to be a feature that's going to be right around the corner, as well as refer your friends as well. And you can earn 1% of the total transactions there. Head over to betbtc.win, dive into their docs, join their communities as well on Discord, and I believe they have a TG, but Discord for sure. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer for Bitcoin layer 1 assets, most specifically ordinals. You're going to be able to jump your node monks, your puppets, your Bitcoin frogs from Bitcoin layer 1 to Merlin Bitcoin layer 2 to base to abstract, eventually Solana. And you're going to be able to use Agent Hustle, which currently helps you trade on Solana. But once they add the Bitcoin tech stack in, you're going to be able to use him to help you vault those ordinals and jump them to different environments there. But right now you can use Hustle to help you trade on Solana. You definitely don't want to go into that jungle by yourself. You need an assistant, and Hustle is perfect for that. If you use Hustle now, it's actually not token gated. It's actually free. So take advantage of that. See if it's a product you like. Eventually, there will be a business model that rolls their token into it. So at that point, you will have to either hold some of that, or they will announce what that looks like for you to get access to it. And then don't forget, they have their TGE for their runes TGE in September. Right now, you can participate in a pre-sale environment. If you head over to OpenSea and you search Emblem Founder Vaults, you can buy an NFT, and it is a pre-sale type of sale. But once you get close to the TGE in September for the runes, they will give you instructions on how to get those runes into your Bitcoin wallet. Head over to emblem.vision, dive into their docs, join their communities. This team is definitely grinding, and they're going to have amazing products in the near future there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage decks of the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to soon trade Doggo to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, Ordi Sats, and other popular tokens outside of the ecosystem like XRP, Tau, and Ethereum on their platform. If you're not a trader and you want to participate in their community or their product and platform, you can add liquidity to their vaults there and earn passively. I would say head over to their Discord. They have really cool tips and tricks from traders, experienced traders there. And we also have a series that we partnered with them as well to kind of give you guys some tips directly from trader interviews and stuff like that. Head over to Artura.finance, join their Discord, dive into their docs, learn everything about it, because you're going to have opportunities soon too to kind of earn points to be able to for their future airdrop for their token there. And then Fluid Tokens started off on Cardano, worked their way to Bitcoin. They're on both right now, but they were the first to offer retail staking vaults to Bitcoin Layer 1 users. If you are a founder of an ordinal collection or you etched a rune with an established community, head over to their Discord, ask them how to get a staking vault going for your community there. They will walk you through it. But right now you can actually also use their airdrop tool. If you go to fluidtokens.com and click on the airdrop link there, if you're a founder and you want to airdrop runes to your community, you can do so. You can either add all of the addresses via CSV file, which is Google Sheets, or what is it? Excel. Yeah, Excel, or you can add manually and just put the addresses in there manually. So it's a really convenient, efficient way to do it there. Like I said, head over to fluidtokens.com, learn more about the Bitcoin side or the Cardano side there. And then Tokyo Wallet, they are building a multi-chain smart wallet that's focused on UI, UX for you guys. So this team is doing amazing things with this wallet. You can actually have custom, screensavers in the background with the dog over the moon, because we know you dog army people are crazy. They're going to be adding, I believe, Billy soon as well. And they also have Snek on there as well, because they have the Cardano tech stack as well as Bitcoin and more coming in the future. But if you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store, download that app, or if you have an Android, download it on the Google Play Store. Give us some feedback. Let us know how you feel about the application. We can pass that over to the team there. Head over to Tokyo.io, dive into their docs as well, and you can learn all about that product there. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength with the power of AI. They have their AI Wizard 0.03 tool to help guide you through their ecosystem. They can help you swap, it can help you stake. And speaking of staking, you can help secure the chain with their proof of stake staking there right now. If you want to do day-to-day, you can deposit your Merlin tokens, earn 15% APR. But just to note, if you do want to withdraw, it does take 7 days for that process to happen. But they are also adding a 6-month locked in 45% APR staking option there as well. So yeah, definitely good APR there. And then you can actually get your rewards on a daily basis, but make sure you make that decision for yourself. It is an adult decision. So before you do anything, take your time and research and decide if that's what you're interested in there. Head over to merlinchain.io today to learn more about the chain and all the products they have there. And lastly, our integrated partners in Jungle, which was formerly Foxy AI, is building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, and their first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker. We will let you guys know when we start live streaming that again on Tuesdays. And then Ordinal Hive is the aggregator Ordinal marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. They are doing something similar to what SAS Terminal is doing, but for ordinals. So you're going to find the most best priced ordinals around at Ordinal Hive. And they have amazing trader tools there as well for you guys to kind of utilize to help your trader journey with the Ordinal ecosystem. And we thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yup. And if you guys have a few minutes, wouldn't mind checking out Ordinal, OnChain Revolution.io. It does seem like the site is running good. So let me just show my screen here. All right, so check out OnChain Revolution.io. We have some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and caught up to where we are today. If you guys are interested in checking out this newest article, it's about the Believe app. And there's people making serious money over there right now, getting into these utility-based pump fund type of model. It's really cool. So definitely check this article out. Definitely check out all the articles we have here. We have so many different ones. Check them all out here. If you guys need a VPN, I actually have 2 accounts because I have over 10 devices in my house that are all hooked up to a VPN. But if you only have 5, you only need 1 account, right? And it's about $3 a month. It's about, I think I locked it in at like $60-something for 2 years. Locked it in, forgot about it. But make sure you guys are using our thing here. Otherwise, you're going to be paying $10 a month when you can only need to be paying about $3 a month. Use our link there. And if you guys need merch, we have some of the best merch, guys. I've been adding new stuff every single day. And if you guys are interested in us adding anything, like, yo, I want this shirt, or I want this hoodie, or I want this something, whatever, we can add pretty much anything for you guys. I just added this shirt yesterday. I'm actually going to be purchasing one. I swapped my Bitcoin for dog. Check this guy out here, guys. Phenomenal stuff here. Check everything out at OnChainRevolution.io. And guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.